Well, good evening, everybody. We're back again. It just seems to be happening day after day after day. We're back again in Virtual Pool 4 online, and we're back for another match. If you can see the chat there, another match in the VP4 10 Ball Masters, a one-loss side match between Cobra and Moz, and that's due to start in about maybe 8-9 minutes time. In the meantime though, we'll have a look through the bracket. We have this match tonight, and tomorrow, I think it's further up. No, wait a minute, it might be further down. Tomorrow at 7:30 we have Sylvia against Bill, and the big match of the tournament, the biggest so far, is going to take place tomorrow afternoon, and that one is going to be between, if I can find it, Albinario and Acero. Albinario has cruised through so far. Acero very impressive in his last match against Larry, and that will take place at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon British summer time. Now going back to last night, well, we had semi-pro up against Stubb, and while that match was running, we were watching the what match was it we were watching? We were watching the Cobra Larry match, which went to about 2 hours, I think, and well, strange things happened in that match for Larry, none more so than that 8-ball that he played, couldn't get on the 10, and then the strange end to the match where I got totally confused, and then we finally worked out what it was. Cobra was trying to clip the 6, clipped to 10, gave Larry ball in hand, and then Larry hit the S button with a mistake and just shot the ball in error, and of course that was just a gift for Cobra to finish the match. It was the strangest ending to a match I think I've seen, because I was confused for 10 minutes. And then of course when that had finished, we went over to watch the semi-pro match against Stubb, and semi-pro was leading by 5 racks to 1, and Stubb managed to get back in it, and then of course semi-pro committed the big sin and started paying attention to Stubb, and Stubb managed to get himself back in it and then won out by 14 racks to 11. So he lies in wait of the winner of the match tomorrow, Albinario or Acero. Now Albinario will still be the favourite, and I think I've said this time and time again, Acero, I don't think he can play as well as he did against Larry. It's a big ask for him to play as well, because he's going to have to if he's going to be competing with Albinario. And another thing I've said, at some point in the tournament you're going to have a bad match, and well, if Albi has a bad match, things don't go his way, Acero's more than capable of taking him out. But the winner of that match will then face Stubb, and then in the bottom half of the winner's side we've got Spectre Dawn, who is sitting, and well, he's certainly had in the last couple of matches I think the easier part of the draw, because he's waiting in the winner of Jover and Hazard, so he's going to be strong favourite to go through, no doubt about that. And I think that about covers everything that is set. So 2 matches tomorrow, the big one in the afternoon, and then Bill against Sylvia at 7:30. So I say, you know, Bill's going to be favourite, but he can't be too loose. If he's too loose, Sylvia is certainly going to steal racks off him. Whether she can steal enough, I don't know, but it'll be interesting to watch it. And it'll be interesting to see Sylvia's reaction if she goes behind early on. Whether she's going to be up for the fight, we'll see that. And I think that is it. That pretty much covers it. So tonight we have Cobra against Moz. Well, two interested parties in winning this tournament, both of them having to do it the hard way, having to go through this one lost side, and there'll be more trouble up ahead, because when you've got Bedhead playing to play Mooncake, you've got one of the losers coming over for that from that winner's side, just to make it even tougher on this side. So there's a lot of good matches in prospect to come in this tournament, but tonight somebody's participation is going to end. Well, Moz can't make the same amount of mistakes he did in his last match that put him over here, because Cobra will be too strong, so he's going to have to be on his toes. And I think maybe one benefit would be if he's not involved in that stream. If Duffman isn't streaming, then he's not going to be distracted chatting away in the middle of it, so I think that's a good thing. But that remains to be seen. Duffman might turn up, I don't know. But well, we are good to go. We should be live on YouTube, we should be live on Twitch, and also Facebook. And we are about 2 minutes away, so good evening to everybody. I don't know whether the chat's working because I don't see anybody typing anything. Now this is weird how this doesn't work. I can't paste while I've got this thing up on the screen. It won't let me do it, which is weird. Oh well, Facebook's working. There's Bill. Good evening, Bill. So both players have been in, well, certainly Cobra's been in a lot longer than Moz, but at least both of them are in on their own, getting warmed up, getting the pace. Good evening. Now, how are we saying it? Zwilla? Mind you, when you showed me that, what do you call it? That definition thing, it was ZWILLE. And just as I was shutting VP4 down, I heard a ping from a PM. I don't know who it was, but I was going to my bed last night. Somebody sent me a PM. It might have, I don't know. I didn't catch it, but I was gone. I was out like a light as soon as I went to bed last night, after what seemed like a lifetime. What, like 3 hours or whatever it was last night. Well, this won't be 3 hours tonight, but how long it's going to be is going to be very much determined whether Moz is up for the battle. He's going to need to battle. And the other thing I've done is, this, before I set this whole thing up, I went to Twitch and I went to YouTube, and I added a couple more moderators. So if we get any idiots, you'll soon find out if you are a moderator or not, because if you then right click or click over the person's name or click the little drop down or whatever it is, it should give you options to do whatever. Right, so we are on the nail. This room should be going up. Now, I need to remind everybody what the rules are. Well, I'll do it again anyway. It's 10 ball, it's a lag for break. We're going in, table should be the right colour, or the cloth should be. It's winner breaks. All non-obvious colours, that is, non-obvious shots, that's banks and combos, should be called. and a 60-second shot clock and a 60-second extension. Well, that's weird. That cue's rotating around the table. Welcome everybody. So, Moz to break off in this race to 10. And straight away, ball in the break. Now I think he can cut that, but he's going to obviously run into the... No, can he? He's going to run over the mouses at the wrong speed again. Hang on. That's better. No, it's too tight, I think. He's just going to try and drop in behind the 8 ball here, I think. Or the 4 ball, I think. Yeah, it's the 4 ball. Yeah, Moz has to be pretty much flawless, because if he leaves an open table, Cobra's pretty much guaranteed he's going to take them out. And Moz is taking his time, just trying to drop in behind a 4, but hasn't got there. So that 2 ball, well, it certainly doesn't go past the 10, so that's the problem ball that has to be dealt with. Yeah, I did a bit of my sports psychology on semi-pro this afternoon. He's been given full instruction on what he should have done and what he should do, because he might bump into Stubb again. You never know. So Cobra has dealt with the 2, and this is going to be, well, the first major problem is getting up that table. And well, he's going to have to be quite clever with the cue ball here, because going forward he's got problems, and coming back he's got to get this right. So he's going to go out, looks to be he's got to go over to the left. Well, he's trying to run up the table, but that was always going to happen. So now, if it's the cut, one thing you want to do when you cut this is overcut it if you're going to miss it, because that way you'll go to the side rail and go to the top rail, or at least that's what should happen. But it looks as if he's thinking about the left hand corner pocket, and then now he looks at the right hand corner pocket. I would have thought the left is a thinner cut. Well, he's got it. Now he needs a bit of luck, and that will do, and he should be out. He's looking straight down the barrel on this 6 ball. He's going to the jaw. Yep, just going to the jaw. Now this is a sort of chance that Moz has to take, and I think this is not easy. In fact, that is too tight. He's just got to chip this and no more, and I don't think he thinks he can get it. So, well, I think we know what's going to happen now. He's surely got to go for the kick. No, that's a surprise, because now he's conceded control of the table to Moz here. Moz can get this thin and try and get enough power in it to get down near the 7. You know, he wants to get a bit more juice into it than that, but again, the weight he's got, he's behind the 8. We have to assume that's what he played, but I still think you're better going for distance. Now, what's he called? Well, he's going around to try and kick in behind the 6. Called it into the middle pocket just in case. But it's now an open table, and these opportunities you can't waste. So once again, welcome to any latecomers. I keep thinking I've got a hat tilted in my head, but it's the bloody beak of that bird. Well, this should be home and hosed. Now, even at this early stage, winning the first rack for Moz is fine, but the more important thing is how the break goes in this second rack. Well, ball straight into the right hand corner, but no shot on the 1. 2 ball has gone. Dangerous to try and play a safety up by the 8 ball, because the whole left hand side of the table's open for a pot. But he can bank the 1 towards the 8, across the table and back towards the 8, and then bring the cue ball down the bottom of the table. He can do that. Yeah, well, he's called the corner pocket, but I don't believe he's really playing that. He's just calling it for safety's sake, because he's heading down south here. Yeah, that's the shot. That is okay. He hasn't got cover, but the second rule is get distance, because it then makes it more difficult for your opponent. So that is a good shot. That was the general idea of what he was trying. And now Cobra feather the right edge and get distance again himself. Now this shot you have to get spot on, because he's going around the angles and he's heading down towards this 9 ball and 4 ball, and he's played it pretty well. Now, is he going to get lucky? Yes, he has. That's excellent. And that's the shots that puts the pressure on. At least it lets Cobra know that you're competing and making it tough. But it's all very well getting, you know, the good safety. If Cobra doesn't get out of this clean, it's not an easy run out where that 3 ball is. Well, it's a chance for Moz to pot the 1, and he can certainly move the cue ball and try and get something moved here. He has an angle to do it. Needs the luck again, because you've just got no clue what's going to happen. Well, no joy. And now Now he needs to be careful if he's going to brush the 3, because he's limited in what he can do, but he doesn't want to just brush the 3 and scratch off the 4. That needs to keep going, and that will do. It's another good weighted shot. And there's a bit of thinking needed here as to what the route plan is. I mean, if he banks the 5 to go to that top rail, well, he's just chipped it to go to the top rail, but again, it's a pretty good shot, and now the pressure's on Moz. A good response from Cobra. Well, we had a cagey start last night in the first match of the evening between Larry and Cobra. I think the first rack was about 15 minutes. Well, this time it's Cobra gets the reward for the good safety, and he should be all square. Oh dear, well, these are the ones you want to pounce on. I don't think it was that difficult, but Moz has got to punish it. So that's the first big mistake by either player. And this is the clincher, this one. What does Moz do? He's dead straight in the 5. Is he going to leave it dead straight in the 6 for the roll through onto the 7, or is he going to try and get closer? Because sometimes you're best to just leave well alone and play the long shot like that. And the angle he's got, he may well be fairly close to this 7 ball. Well, he stunned it to avoid that, and that is pretty good. But has he gone too straight again? No, he's got an angle. So this one, to get onto that 8 ball, miss the scratch, and now it should be plain sailing for a 2-0 lead. And you'll notice something else as well straight away. I'm surprised nobody said it. Well, that's exactly what I was just going to say, Semi-Pro. That first of all, Moz is playing not a lot quicker, but he's playing at just a decent pace. But he's not got these long pauses where he's farting about and talking to Duffman and talking to Niederrad and thinking about this and doing that, and what if I do this and what if I do that. This is the best thing that could happen to him, is getting out of that stream and focus on what he's supposed to be doing. Well, it's worked so far, but there's a big difference in how he's playing. He's not having to stop and explain something to somebody. And at the table, with a chance for 3-0, and he might, I wonder how long it will take for the penny to drop with Moz that this is probably a good idea. And no sooner said, we put the mockers on it. He's missed the 3. Well, Cobra has to respond this time. Can't afford another mistake. Yep, that's the problem with blind pockets. When you're not looking at the pot, you're looking at the object ball and you don't really see the pocket. Welcome to the latecomers, late to the party. Well, the first big unforced error has been from Cobra. We've had one there from Moz. And Cobra looking to drop onto this 5. Well, he's missed the 9 because that could have went all wrong. Just avoided hitting that 9 ball. And now he has to be careful here he doesn't drop too low. Needs to make sure he's putting a wee bit of bottom on it just to square the cue ball out the way. And that's another one that could have went disastrously wrong. He's chipped into the 10. And I think he's fine just to come in with a wee bit of right just to check the cue ball again. And anything but straight in the 9, so he's got a good angle and he should be over and out in this rack. So likewise, Cobra has served up after the mistake, as did Moz in the second rack, and Cobra on the board. Oh, that's what I meant to say. What? Forgot all about it. It just came into my head there when I saw, well, not your name, but that other name that you've got. I think it's Llanfar Gwyngath Golgereth Landrobwyth Llantysilio Gogoch. It's probably not phonetically exactly the way you say it, but it's roughly like that. Well, I practiced that for years. Oh, here's the pain in the arse in. There he is. Oh, good evening, Stub. We're just talking about somebody else there. Well, it's beginning to shape up like blow for blow here, the way we've gone so far, and it's already no miss pull this match. And here's the clincher again. Got to get. Now, what way do you go? Do you go forward? You need an awful lot of power going forward. If you're coming back, it has to be sweet, or this 6 ball's going to rattle and hang. He's played it well. And this next shot, well, you've got a choice. If the safest shot is up the right hand side of the table, but you've got to go far enough to get the 8 in the middle. If you go left, well, is that going to go past the 9? Oh, it's tight. It does go. I never thought it went past the 9. I never thought to look. Well, he's a bit close to the rail, so he's going to have to dig down here. We were just saying there, Duffman, that Moz is playing a lot better when he's not doing this chat stuff and explaining everything. He's on the ball for a match here tonight, and his pace is better because he's not stopping chatting. So it was a good idea. This is the way he's going to have to play if he's going to stay in this tournament, and he's going to take Cobra out. But he's got a 3-1 lead, but no joy in the break. But I think he's yeah, he's got it covered. Well, I don't think, I mean, there's not a problem with Duffman streaming, and neither had been there, the two of them. It's Moz being in the stream with him, and there's just a big difference in his game tonight when he's not streaming. It's patently obvious when you're watching, because there's not these big delays. I mean, that match, I still go back to that snooker match. I can't remember who he was playing. Was it who the hell was he playing? I don't know whether it was in the final or not, but he took at least 3 minutes to play that blue into the middle pocket. It was a good cut, but he spent 3 minutes talking about it. And I couldn't believe it. Yeah, Barker's, what was it in that match? That's the longest time I've ever seen somebody take over a shot in snooker. So, where's he going? Into the middle pocket here. This is a toughie. No, he's trying to hide. I think that's just going to straighten up. Yeah, needed a wee bit of spin on it to get it in behind either of those balls there. Oh, it was Stubb. That's right, it was Stubb, because Stubb then, I'll say this out loud so everybody hears this, Stubb ran out like a little girl who just wet her pants. That's what Stubb did. There, everybody knows. That was a good win for Moz, that match, because he ripped Stubb apart to win it. In the end, that's a cracking shot by Cobra. That is pinpoint accurate, and what do I keep saying about getting it tight? Look at what angles that Moz has got available. Nothing, absolutely nothing available here. So what he wants to be doing is locking up a ball. That's what he'll be playing. Absolutely no point whatsoever in trying to get to the one. Now, for some, I think the other problem is it's difficult to get a ball locked up as well. So I think he's banking on the fact the 2-ball is safe in the rail. So that's the problem that Cobra's going to have to deal with straight away. Oh, that is perfect. He couldn't have played that much better. Okay, the cue balls come off the rail, but at least he's looking at the two. But getting back to that shot that Moz had there, it was pretty much impossible to try and guarantee he could get another ball safe, because he was stuck to the 6. Good evening. That's what happens with these middle pockets as well. You push it and it just clips the knuckle. So another bonus for Moz, and once again he'll be desperate to take full advantage of this, and he's got to get good in the 3, and I think that is pretty good, even though he's on the rail, because he's going to have to play to find the gap, and he's going to have to hope he gets lucky to get on this 4. And probably the safest one is going up the table if he can. Looking for this gap here, I would think. Anywhere in those 2 lines, and I think he's just gone too far. Or has he? Yes, he has. Needs to watch the double kiss here. Now is he going to try and push in behind this for? Because if he does that, he's going to leave himself open to another safety. Well, he is. Well, there's a... he's going to try and come back behind the 9 and 6 and just leave the 10 as a stopper for the 4. And again, it's a good shot. Well, that chance was there for Moz, but it was always going to be difficult to get into that gap to get on that 4 ball, and now control of the table right now has back in Cobra's hands, and it's another small target for Moz here between the 9 and 7. And I think that will be this rack gone. So Cobra just looking at the shot in the 6, sorry, the 5 to get to the 6, and that 10 ball is a bit of a hindrance. That's why he's got to be careful in how he gets on this 5. He has to avoid running into the 10. Ideally, if he could find a way behind it. Well, I think it's touch and go whether he can get behind it and try and spin around, but that'll bring him into the table too soon. So he might go forward with a wee bit of right. Yeah, and he's going to leave the high bedhead cut, but that's better than nothing at all. I need a quick drink. Where's my bottle? Oh, that's going to the knuckle. It's just dropped in. It was just pocket weight that dropped that ball. Pushed it into the rail too soon there, but pace was the thing that gave it the chance to drop. Now, any latecomers, if you missed the blab at the beginning, we've got 2 matches tomorrow, and the big match and the biggest match of the tournament so far is tomorrow afternoon, British summer time. It'll be 3 PM, which will be about 11 PM Tokyo time, and 4 PM Sweden time, and it will be Albinario against Acero in the big match tomorrow in the afternoon. And then we've got a match at what time was it? Is it 8? Round about, I can't remember now, I've forgotten already. It's either 7 or 8 or 7:30 or something, between Sylvia and Mr. Bill. That'll be the 2 matches tomorrow. And meanwhile, Cobra has got himself back within 1 in a rack that would have been Moz's rack had he found that gap, but that's the breaks. That's what happens. On another night he would have maybe landed flush on it, and Cobra breaking off, and the 2 and the 9 have gone, and he's on the 1, and he can draw out into the table, stun out, and he's on the 3. And he will be the good side of the 3 here to go past the 4 and take the 4 into the same pocket. Well, having said that, he's got that all wrong. That's not where he wanted to be, believe me, because now he's going to have to find a way to get the shot on this 4. Is he just going to drop the 3 in dead weight? Because he's going to end up here. I mean, he's going to end up like here to play this 4, and the other problem is, potting the 3, the cue ball's going to be running into objects here, so this is not a simple shot. Well, he's checked to cue ball there. You notice the way that cue ball's line went. The second bounce off that bottom rail was where the English kicked in, and that has got him pretty perfect on this 4 ball. And if he hadn't had that English on the cue ball there, it would have ran into the 6. And these are the little subtle things you need to look for. The check on that cue ball avoided running into the 6 and got him up the table to where he wanted to be. And this is going to need to be another good one. A lot of travelling to do. Well, did you crash there, Semi, when you muted him? Well, where did you mute him? You couldn't have muted him in VP4, because you're watching on a stream. Or did you just do it for the hell of it? And did it kick you out? Because I don't think I've ever crash muting somebody. I'll tell you who you want to ask if they've ever been kicked after muting somebody. That's any of the mods. And I don't think I've seen that happening to any of them. So we're looking at all square here in a minute or so. Oh, you said that earlier on today, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, you see, that was just the router reconnecting. You didn't reboot your PC though, did you? Yes, I said at the beginning of the stream, I've added more moderators on YouTube, and I also added moderators on Twitch. So there's 2 or 3 been added on Twitch, and I think 2 been added on YouTube. So if we do get any gate crashers, hopefully they'll be dealt with quickly. Meanwhile, interact number 7 and Cobra's break is most certainly working, because the 3 ball has gone and he's sitting pretty nice on this 1 ball, although the angle's not great, but he can go forward with inside left to bring in the cue ball into that gap between the 7 and 6. Well, he's going the inside way, and the pace is so good he's got there, and this is what Cobra has been showing in the 9-ball Masters, the last tournament he was in. His control of pace is what gets him there 9 times out of 10, because the one that gave you the most room was coming down the middle of the table there, because you could cut the 2 into this bottom right hand corner and the cue ball over between the 4 and 8, but he's went the narrower way, making it more difficult to get to the 4, it has to be said. And there's where the problems lie. So I think the commentator was right. He should have went, maybe the angle was too much on that one ball, but with a bit of inside left he could have checked the cue ball down the middle of the table for the 2. So we're back to a point where Moz is at the table, shot in the 2, should be in the 4, and I'll say it again, he has to take this out. He has to let Cobra know that if you're going to make a mistake, I am going to take them out. It's the best way of getting to your opponent, by punishing them. There's nothing better, but that is not going to go, because that went to the rail too soon, and now the shoe's in the other foot. Cobra's going to make Moz think, well, if you can't take them out, I'll show you how to do it, if you're going to be giving me second chances. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. But the 2 balls stuck in the pocket, can only do the big draw unless he wants to chip into the rail, but he's more than likely going to run into the 5. So it's the big draw, and just hopefully he can find the gap, and he has done. And this is going to hurt Moz. He's had his chance, and he's failed at the first time of asking in this rack, and he could be going behind for the first time in the match. This has got him thinking, because he wants to come. I mean, the shot is to come back the way and play the 6 into the middle. You do that most times, because you can stun the 5 in and a bit of bottom and kick over towards us. And the reason he didn't do it is because of the 8 and the 10. He was high odds he was going to be snookered in the 6. So he's left it awkward, but really just needs full focus in the 6 ball. He's got to be on the 7. Well, the straighter the better he can get on this 9. And that's still reasonably okay. He can draw into that. A nippy little draw just to get to the middle pocket. That's what I call a nippy little draw, just where you jab it, lots of bottom but not a lot of power, just to get that little flick where it just comes back about a foot, and he's perfect in the 10. And so Cobra is into the lead. Now, is that going to be a lead that he's going to extend? Is Moz going to be feeling pressurised into taking something more risky that might cost him even more problems? Or is he going to keep the head and just play the game? Because you don't want to start panicking just because you went behind. Well, I'd give him this 10 out of 10 pretty much. Just roll it onto the 2. But he's going to have no shot in the 3 into that pocket. And he's dead straight. Well, a little angle he can he can create, but trying to get down the inside as far as he can, and that will do. So there's trouble ahead with the 7 ball, but in potting the 6 he can certainly move the 7 if he gets there. Well, that's just a wee bit short. It's one of these awkward ones where you're again not looking into the pocket, but if he's going to go for this, does he go for it dead weight? And if he rolls too far through, he's got the 5 into the middle. If he rolls short, he's got the 5 into the same corner, and he's played it dead weight. You've got to be brave and play the shot at the time when you need to, and that's exactly what he's done there. Now this is another one where he's going to have to make sure he gets the cue ball out, because the angle again isn't good. He's just got to make sure he goes through the shot, and it's all went wrong. He had to hit that a lot harder to get this cue ball up the table, and now, well, if he'd a jump cue, he'd have been over that and the shot would have been played and he'd have cut in the 6, but no jump cues, remember. But it doesn't mean to say you can't jump. But I don't think we've seen a truly successful jump shot where a ball has been potted yet in this whole tournament. We've seen plenty of attempts and failures, and MozUK08 hasn't told anybody how he does it. With a house cue, that is. I think MozUK08 sat in our lobby all day yesterday, or either yesterday or the day before. Well, Moz is struggling for ideas here. So the first minute and the shot clock is gone, and this does need a bit of thinking. Well, he called the 6 into the corner, and he's very likely to be 2 racks down now. Oh, if only he'd just, I mean, you do everything in that 5 ball, you hit it nice and hard, so that if you are going to run into the 10, you're going to push the 10 well out the way. Okay, you won't be as close to the next shot, but these are the things you have to think about. There was only one ball that was going to cause problems, and that was a 10 ball. But Cobra's positional play is going to let him take out more racks than anything else. I mean, he's pretty much nailing it whenever he's got a clean shot, and he's going to get there pretty much every time. Well, a wee bit more juice than he wanted in that one, but it should be 5-3, and it's only a race to 10, remember. And all of a sudden 5 looks a big number on the scoreboard, especially when you had a 3-1 lead early on. Is Cobra's break going to work for him again? Again on that first diamond in the left. 6 ball. A shot in the 1. Now I think he can Can he draw off this onto the rail, or is he going to scratch? Well, he's too much angle. He could take a big risk and stun into the, what is that, the 4 ball and the 7. That's risky, because he's risking in getting on the 2 there by getting a good kick onto one of those balls. Is he going to run through? Well, it's all went wrong. Big time. I mean, he played it soft and gentle. It was a good billiard shot. That was a good, what was that, 3 points. But Moz has ball in hand. He should have looked at the 10 there. But he'll just be rolling through on the 2. This is still a tricky run out. Well, again, if he stuns it, he can go across and play the 3 long into this bottom left. If he draws it and tries to get on the 3 into the top left, he could have problems. Well, he stunned it and he's got an inside. Too much on it. Well, this is tricky. I think he's got to sort of draw off this 3. Is he going to play it plain ball? Well, it did the right thing in going to the short rail, which meant it was going to go back up the table. But there is a reverse bank on here. Is Cobra going to be enticed into going for it? And I think in most of his matches he's not been drawn into these sort of shots. I think he's looking to see what the gap is, to go behind at 8 and 9, send a 3 back across the table like a bank, and get it near the top rail and bring the cue ball down towards the 7 and 4, the 5. I'll say that again, the 7 and 4. Yeah, down this end. Yeah, not drawn into playing the reverse bank, and it's a good safety again. There's just an edge in that 3, and if Moz gets this too thick, he's going to push it to the pocket or bring it into play. But he's played like the snooker safety we spoke about the other night, trying to send the cue ball over one side, the object ball onto the other rail. Same shot again, or a similar shot again for Cobra. And guess what Moz is going to do? What do you reckon? Exactly the same. Yep, same shot. Just get it a third of that ball, send it to the left rail. Well, he's went for the dangerous one, and that is enough off the rail for Cobra to take it on. Most certainly. I don't know why he didn't play the same shot, because that's always a danger from distance. If you get it a wee bit too thick, you're going to chip it out off that rail. Well, Cobra is certainly lining up for the cut. Well, the 4 goes. I'm just interested as to why Moz didn't play the same shot there. The same shot was on. It's just strange that he went for the more dangerous shot. plenty of room past the 7. Cue ball going over to the left. That's just again pocket weight, and look at where he is in the 5. And this is where Cobra's got the advantage over pretty much everybody in the tournament, probably apart from Albinario. The two of them are on a par as far as the weight of shot and getting good positions concerned. There's nobody else in the tournament been shown that sort of accuracy, and that's why they're winning matches, albeit Cobra's having to do it the harder way through the one loss side now. But Moz has had his chances, but that poor safety looks very likely that's going to cost him another one. And all of a sudden, from 3-1 up, he's staring 6-3 in the face here. Oh, that is a big error. After me talking about his control of pace in the shot, he's made a right boo-boo, and Moz may well have a good chance here to pinch one back. And this is a sort of assistance that you need when you're trailing, especially in a race to 10. You need something to happen quick. Oh goodness me, he called the 8 into the middle. No, must have called it into the corner. Well, there's a sigh of relief for Moz. I heard it myself there, guys. I missed where he called that ball. I thought he'd called it into the middle, and then we see the missed call coming up. So it is. Well, Moz's prayers have been answered in this rack. He's going to get it back to within 1. And now the match could turn straight away here if he gets a shot, a break, a ball and a shot. That's what he wants. 4 ball in. And well, he got the first part. He's got no joy. Oh, this is a tricky drop into the middle, but he's got it perfect. And now anything but the scratch off this shot. He's going off 2 rails, possibly 3, to drop onto that 3 ball on the short side in this bottom left hand corner. This has got to be good. No, he's going the other way. Oh, he's played it just as well. I thought he was going to spin the other way. And that is perfect. That is a brilliant shot. Well, that nudge in the 10 ball hasn't changed anything on the 7. It still goes into that corner, and it obviously goes into this one, so the 7 is open. Now the safest shot is down the left hand side, not too far. Doesn't want to get involved with that 8 ball. Well, I don't know what angle he had there, but he's going to have to pull one out here where that cue ball's ended up. And again, he can still play a decent safety here. He can just bank the 7 onto the end rail, onto the left side rail, or is it all out for the pot? And this is where you have to weigh up the value in having a go at this. You don't have to pot every ball. but he's got it, and he's going to have no shot in the 8 from that angle. Now what does he do? Because if you make your mind up to play the pot, then you have to get that cue ball running to get anywhere near the 8. Well, I mean, he could be brave and play a billiard onto the 10, but that's just a desperate shot to just try and get the rack over. But he's now played the safety, and he hasn't got the cover. And, well, this is a good bank. It's a good bank on the 8. Now, is he going for the bank, or is he just trying to confuse me here? It's hit the knuckle, and it's gone pretty much safe. Okay, it's open, but, well, this is a dilemma for Moz here. What does he do? If it's a cut into the right pocket, it's really thin. If it's a cut into the left, it's really thin. And he's got to hope he gets right into that 9. Well, Cobra's had a look at the angle. It's thin, but he's got to be on the 9. At least some sort of shot in the 9 if he gets it. And it goes, and perfect. So the gap is going to go back to 2. It was just a strange way Moz had a trying to get out there that eventually was his undoing. Left things far too difficult. And again, it's full punishment. Cobra wins the rack. And of course wins back the break in rack number 11. Two ball tracking right around the table, avoided everything, and look at where he's sitting on the 1. The 3's in the open, the 4's over the top left, the 5's down here wide open, 6 is open, and the 7 goes as well. So the prospects for Moz getting to the table on this rack are fairly slim, I would suggest. Has he gone straight? Yes, he has. Well, he can force an angle, punching it forward with inside left, but if he draws back with bottom right, he might run into the 6. He's just played it plain ball to leave it high in the 5. If he played it with bottom right, that would have pushed the cue ball that way, but it could have run into the 6. But playing it plain ball, he's just drawn it straight back and out, and that's why he's ended up there. So this is the toughie. looks as if he's going to be playing this 7 ball from a similar distance, but all he wants to do is get right over here to this side so that he's looking right at that 7. Plenty of room past the 8, not a problem. He just wants to get as reasonably straight as he can on it, so he's not cutting it from any angle. And that will do. And this is going to be another one that will hurt Moz, because there's nothing he can do. It's just a break and a run out. That's what it's looking very much like. So it's been a rocky start. Couple of errors early on from Cobra. Moz getting that 3-1 lead, but Cobra's found his rhythm, got into the swing. Apart from blocking himself out in one shot, he's been pretty solid. Well, the match is now, and I'm beginning to yawn, the match has now been on for about an hour and 2 minutes or so. And this one is over. And Moz got it back to within 1, winning his first rack in a while, but he's now going to be going 3 behind, and already it's a long way back at 7-3 in a race to 10. Sorry, 7-4, 3 racks down. Same place again, the first diamond. 2 ball tracking round the table. As long as it misses the balls, it will go in. This time it got hit in the stampede there. Well, this is all or nothing for Moz if he goes for this. Cue ball will be running around the angles, and as long as he misses the 3, he should be on the 2. And well, he's nudged into a couple, but that's fine. Can he take this out? It's yet another vital rack in Moz's survival in the match. Oh, he's chipped it and hit it too thin. Nowhere near the 3 ball. And you cannot afford to make any mistakes. Can't afford anything. And Cobra can use the rail and the ball to get the cue ball out. And well, of course he's on the 3, and Moz can only sit and watch, and he'll be kicking himself again. That little tentative chip in the 2 there didn't get it to the hole, and now he has to suffer the pain knowing that it's pretty much on the cards that Cobra's going to put this away. And commentators curse again. Look where he stuck the cue ball. Well, this is not the shot you want to be playing over the 6 to try and thin cut that 4. He's got to be on the 5. He just needs to worry about potting the 4. This is really tough. Yeah, he wasn't interested. Again, there's nothing easy here for Moz. He can push the 4 to the right of the 8 and play the safety again. Try and send it over by the 5. I think he's a bit heavy though. Well, he's okay, because that 4 ball could have squirted out past the 5 there. How's it looking from here? Well, thin edge, and round 2 rails here to try and get over by the 10 and 6. Oh, he's chipped into the 8. That wasn't in the plan. I don't think it was, but still perfectly safe, and a little more difficult to work out a safety with this 4 ball. Oh, it's gone wrong again. Again, the weight of shot, the problem in a couple of the shots here by Moz, and all he's done is exposed the 4. Well, he's now doomed in this rack, and Moz is, well, it started a wee while back, but he's beginning to fall out the match here. Had these chances, hasn't taken them. Oh dear. Oh, it's beddy bye time, folks. This could still go wrong if he overhits this. We all know where he could end up, so you just want to get down past the middle pocket to err on safety. But once again, he's trusting his weight of shot, and he's pretty much got there. It's another testy cut though. Not a problem. So it's going to be 8-4, and it is a long way back for Moz in this match now. Seven ball gets kicked in by the 3. The 1 goes, it's tight, but it goes, and the cue ball's dropping down onto the 2, and if he can get this 1 and get on the 2, this rack's done and dusted as well. It's all going to clinch on this 1 ball. And Moz knows it as well, because the balls are wide open, and it's just going to be an almighty cock up for Cobra to mess this one up, although he's a bit straight in the 2. Well, from 3-1 up, the score's now 7-1 to Cobra. I'm talking about 3-1 up to Moz, that is. It's now 7-1 to Cobra, the way the match has gone. And that's how much Cobras came into the match, and how much that Moz is just falling away. He's made the mistakes, and every time he has done, the rack has gone. Well, this is well, it is a draw, but you're drawing out into the table a bit. You're leaving a higher cut in the 5. You could go forward with inside. He's going forward with inside left to check it straight off that end rail. And I think he might do evasive action here as well. He can pot the 5, and if he plays a little bit of inside left again, which he's doing, he's going to check the rail and come up the middle of the table, going to the left slightly, just so he gets over onto that 6. Just watch the cue ball kicking off the end rail and going left. Well, in the end, he didn't go through with the shot enough. He played it too gentle, and he didn't get the reaction and missed the pot. I mean, I thought he'd enough on it, but he didn't go through with it. And this shot is not easy. Right in the pocket, you can only go backwards, but Moz has been handed a lifeline, albeit maybe too late in the match, because if he gets out, he needs a break and run really to reignite any chance of coming back in this. This was unexpected. And how straight is he? Well, there's enough angle there, but he just needs to go. He can go forward and miss the 10 with the angle that he's got. He's played the draw. He could have went either way. Now, the problem with this shot is he's probably better just babying it into the middle pocket. Yeah. So now Moz needs things to happen. He needs to get a ball and a shot. That's all he's asking for, just one, if he's going to have a chance of running and sticking another rack in the board fairly quickly. It's back to 8-5. Well, the 9 thought about it, but nothing's gone, I don't think. No, and of course what happens when you get nothing on? You leave Cobra a shot in the 1, 2 wide open, and the awkward ball's the 3. And this is the cruel part of the game. You break off a decent enough break, nothing goes in, the worst outcome is you leave your opponent a shot. And this is the one that will probably decide it. How straight is he on the 2? Well, I think he's got to go for the straight draw here. He might, it's hard to tell whether he can come right back or go between, yeah, the 6 and the 4, but he's got there, just got there. And if the cue ball goes where it's going, if he plays it dead weight, he's playing the 4 into the middle. If he lets it run, he's playing the 4 past the 8 into this corner. Yeah, he's playing it into the middle. Well, it was a good start for Moz. The prospects were looking good, but as he's shown 1 or 2 frailties, when he's had chances, Cobra's just got strong. Made a couple of errors himself, but on the whole, with the racks that he's got on the board, he's pretty much taken any good chances he's had. And this is just another one from Moz's dry break. Well, he's certainly going to be playing the 8 into the corner, I would imagine, so just probably the draw. Well, you can, if you want to get fancy, you can go forward and all around the angles for finishing the short side of the 9, but you can just straight draw it. Forward and around with a bit of right, but you take a risk of a scratch. If you draw it this way, you're always going to have the shot in the 9. And so Moz is now at the point of no return, and Cobra just waiting on one more. So it's 9-5, Cobra breaking, and something's flowing in already. The 2 ball has gone, and no shot in the 1. I suppose that's a bit of relief for Moz, but look at the table. If Moz does get a chance, it's got to go. There's no excuse, it's all wide open, and if Moz makes a mistake, it is all over. So there may well be just another couple of shots here. Well, he's clipped to 4, and he's going to land behind the 8, and Moz is in dire straits now. He knows this could very well be his last shot. Well, there's no option on the right side, and there's not much option on the left side, because there's balls blocking any sort of path to get to that 1. And as a last resort, he might have to try and jump this 8. I mean, he's not getting to that 1. Does he think he can get to it between the 7 and the 9 and around the angles? There might be an angle there. There might be. I'd be calling the 10 if I was going that way, just in case. Now, I don't know what pocket he called that in, but the 1 is now on, and we'll soon find out if that was Moz's last shot in this 10 ball Masters. So a reminder to anybody who, where's this cue ball going? Well, there's a bit of relief for Moz. Cobra's found a pocket, and well, I'm not going to say it, but we all know. Yeah, quick reminder, we've got the 2 matches tomorrow. We've got the big one in the afternoon, And remember guys, if you can't be there, you can always go to my YouTube channel later on and you'll be able to watch the rerun between Albinario and Acero on the winner's side, race to 14. And then we've got the evening match between Mr. Bill and Sylvia at round about 7 or whatever it is. And Moz at the table been gifted a chance to stay in the match by that scratch from Cobra. Oh, this has got to... What does he do here? Just go forward and down the inside? Or is he playing the draw? He's played the draw, needs to come back far enough and that will do. And that's what Moz needs to happen. He can't do anything without the assistance of Cobra. And assistances from Cobra have been pretty thin in the ground. But that was one major one there with a scratch. And now no heroics. Is he drawing back up for the 10? He could just run through for the 10 in the middle because he has to get back far enough. Now trailing by 3, and we've been waiting for Moz to get a ball and a shot, and it hasn't happened yet. And when he hasn't had a shot, he's had a dry break, and Cobra's cleaned up, but he's got a ball this time and he couldn't have asked for more. Look at the way the balls are broke. We've lost the what was it, the 8 balls gone. Everything is sitting perfect here. Oh goodness me, Moz, that is unforgivable. That is, well, I mean, you just cannot do that now. You've done the hard work, getting the break, getting the ball, having a shot in the one, and then he's sent the one round the jaws, and the only saving grace is left it safe. Is he going to get a better chance this rack? I know he's not, because he's buried, and that is what drives home the pain. There's no better punishment than that. When you've got a wide open table, you know you're guaranteed to run out pretty much. And he's cocked up the one, and now, well, he's staring in the jaws of defeat here now. Having just won that rack from the scratch from Cobra, he's thrown away as good a chance as any he's had in the match. And this time, Moz deciding to lock up the 2 and 3, which is the right thing to do because everything else is open, so he had to tie something up. Sacrifice the ball in hand, and Cobra, though, with ball in hand, is going to force this. Or is he going to run on to the 4, or is he going to try and force up to the 2 and 3? No, he's going to go for the 3 fills then. And Moz going, if he's going to go from the right side, I don't know whether he's got the angle to do it anyway, but there's a strong chance he'll break up the 2 and 3 if he does that. Got to go from the left hand side. At least hit the 1 ball. It doesn't matter if he leaves it open, it just means that the 2 is still the lifeline for him. Got the hit, got it safe, and that will do. That's all you want. Well, the one thing about Cobra is he shows a lot of common sense. Where, I mean, there's a possible shot on. How many times have we seen him do it where there's a possible cut where the sensible player in him tells him it's far more inviting to play a good safety than it is to take a risky cut, and he does that more times than not. Whereas there's a lot of these guys, as soon as they see a ball with a pocket, they feel they have to go for it rather than using the strategy of the game, because you get a lot more rewards from good safeties than you do from taking high risk pots. Well, that's a good one from Moz. Well, Cobra missing the one and scratching, but that's not the problem for Moz with ball in hand. The problem now is, having locked up the 2 and 3, he's now got to take the bull by the horns. He's got to go for it. Oh goodness, would you believe it? He's got the breakout, he's scratched. And well, by the way guys, see when you're arranging your match, it may well clash with the Bill and Sylvia match. You did good. Well, poor Moz, he had to take the initiative with ball in hand, but the worst possible outcome, breaks the 2 and 3, scratches in the corner, and it's sayonara, arrivederci, bon nuit, see you later alligator, better luck next time, because I can't see Cobra messing this up. We'll have a look at the bracket, a final look, just to see where Cobra ends up. But we know where Moz is going to end up in a minute or so. That's the worst possible luck you could get at the wrong time. Well, commentator's curse has done it again. Goodness gracious me. Cobra has had a mouse fart, a brain fart. He's had everything. Yeah, aye, well, it doesn't matter about the mouse. It's ball in hand for Moz. Get that 6 ball in the pocket and go on with it. There's no such thing as a mouse fart. Not nowadays. And there certainly ain't no passing in and back by Mr. Nice Guy. That's 6 o'clock. That's like an hour and a half before, or an hour or so before Bill and Sylvia. Aye, that 6 o'clock is fine for me. I'll be there. No worry about that. Well, where's the cue ball going? Oh, I thought he was going to be behind the tip there. Well, strange things happen how many commentators say that? Strange things happen in a snooker table, strange things happen in a pool table. But Moz was already halfway out the door. He had his jacket on, the cue was already in the case, the taxi was waiting, and would you believe it, he's still in the tournament, and he's got the break, and he's trailing by 2, and he needs a ball and a shot. Where have I heard that before? 2 ball, no, it's not going this time. Well, the good news is it's gone dry and it's gone safe. Even if Cobra was to take the bank, no point in it, the 2 balls locked up, so Moz is going to be in trouble in a minute. Oh, Larry, listen, Larry, I've just read that line there. No, that is not happening to the best of us. That's what I call a choker on that 8 ball. That's what I call that every day of the week. I mean, oh, I watched that again, that shot this afternoon. Oh, goodness me. I bet you've still got a bruise in the middle of your forehead where you slapped your head onto the keyboard. I bet you've got the letter Q embedded in your bloody scalp after playing that shot. And that'll be that old reliable trackball mouse you've still got, Larry, is that right? The one that never lets you down. Well, Moz trying to just tickle behind the 10. Well, this time he's not left enough for a cut, just left an edge, a very slight edge of this 2 ball. And Cobra just trying to skim up towards the 5, maybe. And maybe with a bit of left he's trying to maybe, oh no, he's going to hit the 5. But look where he's finished. Moz blocked off by the 9. The old kick and hope. Well, as long as I keep talking and saying things, it seems to be putting Cobra off. Well, he's got a wide open table, ball in hand, not a problem anywhere, and he has to run out. So we've had a scratch from Cobra, we've had the fluff shot from Cobra, and each time prior to it I've been saying the match is over. Well, it's definitely over now. Well, he's got to go 5 to the 6 and then 6 back up to the 7. And the angle he's got there means he would be drawn towards the 9, I think. Or can he pinch this enough? I think he can. Yeah, he was heading in the direction of the 9, but he's fine. So this is the one that matters. And he's gone plumb straight on the 6. Absolutely cast iron straight. So now, what's he going to do? Is he going to run right through into the corner? He can't. Well, he can't even do that because he's taking a big risk there. If he stops the cue ball, He's got a very thin cut. He's not got any options here. You start trying to pinch things here. Well, he looked as if he was putting a bit of left on it there and trying to pinch an angle off this 6 ball. I think he's looking at the gap between the 10 and the 9, believe it or not. That's what I think he's looking at. And he hasn't got there. Or is he trying to still leave the cut from here? Well, this is tough. I think if he had ran through, he obviously had a better angle between the 9 and 10, but it was such a narrow window to get into. But this time, no mistake. Well, this match should have probably finished 15 minutes ago. Oh, he's not got into it enough. So, just run around 3 rails, it looks like. Unless he wants to play this in any sort of fancy way, but it's probably better just letting it run. 1, 2, 3 out into the table, shot in the 10. Looks fairly straightforward to me. Well, he's just the 2 rails, but dead straight. And so Cobra finally is putting the match to rest, and he's going to win and go through to the next round on the 1 loss side, beating Moz by 10 racks to 7. Well, Moz had his chances. Those errors crept in. That's how he ended up in the 1 loss side. Too many mistakes. At this level, you've got to get them clean. You've got to put them away when you have the chance. And so Cobra is through. We'll have a final look at the bracket, guys, just to see how that updates. And already Cobra is sitting waiting. And well, he's going to have a wee bit of a wait. So a reminder, we've got the 2 matches tomorrow so far. The one in the afternoon, the big one with Albinario and Acero at 3 PM British Summer Time, and at 6 o'clock tomorrow night, thanks to Bedhead and Mooncake, we've got their 1 loss side match. And then if we go further down, the last match tomorrow night is, what time's that? I need to get out of my chair to read that. 7:30 is the match between Sylvie and Bill. So that match may well have started by the time the Bedhead match is finished. We don't know, but we'll be there for it. I hope you can join us. So with that, guys, I'm heading to bed. Back to work tomorrow. Take care, stay safe, keep your distance, and remember, if you can't join us for the matches or you miss one of them, you can always watch it on YouTube. And with that, I'll bid you good night.